It's a theory so crazy, it actually works. Welcome to SUPER NERD Mysteries. Welcome back, Nerd North, and with Mando Season 3 all wrapped up, we have all sorts of questions lingering and left over. One of the biggest ones being, what happened to Moff Gideon? Because there's one thing all of us Star Wars fans can agree on, that although we saw Moff Gideon go to his fiery death at the end of Season 3, we all know for a fact that he really didn't die. It's just Lucasfilm trying to pull another fast one on the fans, but let Papa North tell you what it is that you missed and how Moff Gideon's going to be the big bad in the new Rey Skywalker series. So let's talk clones. In the Season 3 finale, it's been made clear to us that Moff Gideon has been making clones of himself, trying to harness the power of the Force. We see earlier at the end of the Season 3 finale that he's talking with the Shadow Empire. One thing to note is that we noticed during this meeting, Moff Gideon really seems to have no interest in Project Necromancer, the secret Imperial project that's supposed to bring Palpatine back. And although he denies to the Shadow Empire that he's continuing any such cloning project, it's obvious to them that he is still up to something. And with a heavy emphasis on cloning during this whole series, it's logical that's where most people would go for their Moff Gideon theory. Now let Papa North tell you why you're wrong. This is nothing more than sleight of hand. But by answering just a few questions by the end of the Mando Season 3 finale, Papa North is going to tell you how this all works together. One of them being is, why would Moff Gideon allow the Mandalorian to destroy his clones so easily when he's been watching him from cameras, know his every single step during that show, if these clones were just so precious to him? The simple answer is he wouldn't. It's another tactic to draw in the audience to think that this is all about cloning, so we can't see the real plan Moff Gideon has in store for the Rey Skywalker series. It was either Season 1 or 2 where Grogu was in fact hooked up to an Imperial machine with Dr. Pershing, so the Empire clearly had plenty of time to draw some blood from Grogu and inject it into Moff Gideon. If you remember, at the beginning of Season 3, we had an episode where Dr. Pershing was addressing the Republic Senate, wishing how he could have saved his mother with a heart he's now able to clone that could have lasted thousands of years. So more than likely, Moff Gideon had a contingency plan of his own. Perhaps injecting yourself with midichlorians isn't an instantaneous process, rather one that will take many years to unfold, perhaps to outlive any iteration of the Empire that might come to be. If you're asking yourself, well, if Moff Gideon wasn't on Mandalore, then where could he be? But North got one more question that was left unanswered during that series that a lot of people brought up. Just why would those TIE interceptors go and try to take down the Mandalorian cruiser and not rejoin the fight? Because Moff Gideon was on one of those TIE interceptors that we know he can already fly. He knew the gig was up and it was time to get out of there. How does this tie to the Rey Skywalker story? Because with the Heir to the Empire adaptation coming to us very soon, we all know Disney will not want Moff Gideon to overshadow Admiral Thrawn, as he's labeled to be the next big bad in this whole Mandalorian series. And with rumors of Rey eventually having stories with little Grogu, and a movie that they want out with a hard date set of 2025, you tell Papa North what other big bad they already have set in motion to make this happen. Because with enough years past the rise of Skywalker and Palpatine now being dead, perhaps it's enough years for the midichlorians to finally have sunken into Moff Gideon, learn how to use the powers of the dark side, and with his heart from Dr. Pershing that is now set for 1,000 years, perhaps come now, with the power vacuum created with Palpatine's death. They didn't scramble Dr. Pershing's mind to cover up the new cloning technology they were using. They scrambled his brain to make sure he'd never speak about the heart that would last 1,000 years. And with Moff Gideon meddling in all sorts of Palpatine's cloning business, wouldn't it be ironic for a Palpatine to have to take out Moff Gideon to reclaim the Empire? So we now got motive and opportunity, and a theory that now makes more sense than anything else on YouTube. And that's how Moff Gideon's going to wind up the new big bad in the new Rey Skywalker series. But give us your theory down below. Don't forget to leave a comment and a like, because the more comments you leave gives Papa North and Team North more of a chance to make some great nerdy content for subscribers like you. And that's been a SUPER NERD Mystery.